Next we'll talk about how to set up the Versa-Rest in the fixed blade configuration with a lizard tongue launcher. Got this bow set up right here already, and it already has the factory supplied lizard tongue launcher mounted, and you can mount that in one of these different hole configurations to optimize your center shot. And what's great about the Versa-Rest is it has the rotating spring tension, the shaft rotating there, versus this little give in the launcher itself, which is the spring tension of the launcher. So I'm going to show you how to adjust the shaft spring tension and why you might want to do that. So let's flip the bow around. On this side we have the spring knob right here, and that knob's attached to the torsion spring that's inside the rest. I'll show you how to adjust that. First, apply a little thumb pressure on the back end of the spring knob so it doesn't turn on you. Remove this locking screw, and you'll see this want to turn a little bit. There's a spring in there, and you can see right there I've taken all the tension off of it. Doesn't spring back, doesn't do anything. But as I turn this counterclockwise, you can see I'm starting to increase the spring tension. So I'm going to turn a little bit more, turn a little bit more. You can hear the pitch change, and you can turn this, you can feel it really get tight. You can turn this to a pretty tight setting to mimic a true fixed blade launcher in that there's no rotation of the shaft at all, or you can back it off a little bit and play around with these settings until you get your tune just right, maximize the interaction between the shaft spring tension of the torsion spring versus, let me turn that around there, versus the blade tension. So those are a few things that's nice about the rest. Another thing you want to keep in mind is you can use this launcher in the limb actuated mode if you'd like. So don't discount this launcher or relegate it to only the fixed blade configuration. You can use it in a limb actuated configuration too. Also, for those of you like me that have a drawer full of launchers with 2-hole mounting patterns, we've designed the Versa-Rest to be able to bolt right up to those launchers because our hole pattern on the carrier rod is this industry standard. So don't be afraid to use some of those old launchers that you have in a drawer. Put them on your Versa-Rest for ultimately maximizing your tune. So we're going to talk about an additional feature of the Versa-Rest that we spoke of earlier, and I'll demonstrate how it works. That feature being these 2 screws on the bottom of your rest. These 2 screws actually adjust the angle of your launcher, whether it's here or even further up, and how far it comes down, its down position. It's pretty straightforward. It comes configured from the factory with 2 washers already installed, and the screw in the back toward the back of the launcher or the rest sets the height. In other words, this angle, the up angle. Okay? The screw in the front of the rest sets the down position. So we're going to adjust the down position, and the reason why you might want to do that is if you don't want it to hit your riser, or if the factory configuration actually is too low and hits your riser, you can adjust that. So let's do that. We're going to go ahead and just remove this screw. It's just that simple. Take the washer out, put the screw back in. And you might be thinking, well, what's that washer have to do really? Well, it enables you to put the screw in there, and the screw now protrudes a little bit further. The mechanism now, it doesn't allow the mechanism to come as far down. Each one of these washers accounts for about 4 degrees of angle in your launcher position. So now let's talk about changing the angle of the blade. I've seen a lot of shooters actually turn the whole rest to get the angle of their blade the way they want to. The Versa-Rest allows you to change that without having to change the whole pitch of your of your rest. So to do that, make sure you take the tension off of the rod itself by removing this screw and enabling the spring tension, the torsion spring tension, to have nothing on it whatsoever. With the launcher in the down position, now it's safe to take off this screw here, which is the screw toward the rear of the arrow rest. It might be a little tough for you to see, but oops. We'll get rid of that. And if I take a washer out, basically making the screw longer, it will protrude further up into the body of the rest, resulting in a lower angle of the launcher. Let's see if you can. So I got that all the way down. I'm not going to put the spring tension on it. I don't know if you can notice the angle of that launcher is now a little lower. So the longer the screw is, the lower this angle is. The shorter the screw, i.e. the more washers you put in there, the higher the angle is. So this is yet another feature of the VersaRest that is quite nice, in that you can optimize the angle of the blade both in the up position and the down position to keep it off your riser shelf. You can see the angle of that blade is a lot lower now, or to get that really shallow angle for your target archers. Lastly, I'm going to introduce this guy here. This is the nylon set screw. Some folks might not feel comfortable with the stop screw being made of metal and they think it's too loud. I personally hunt with this screw in it. I don't notice much of a difference, but some folks do, and it's important that we provide folks with that option. Basically, you take this 832 nylon screw and you put it only in the hole in the front of the rest, which is the down position setting. You just run it in there. Once again, you can apply the washers as necessary. There you go. And what it does is, when the action of the rest comes down, it hits a little bit softer material, being the nylon. Just provides you that additional little bit of stealth.